welcome to the BU show. My name is Jen. I am in Ohio, and my co-host is Sonia, and she's out in Canada. We have never met before, and we decided to come together and put this show together. And we've now been going at this now for a month now, Sonia.
Yes.
And we are truly thankful for everyone who has liked, subscribed, and shared our channel. So we're going to talk about clutter. And the reason, this topic, I've been seeing it pop up everywhere in my daily life, either in books that I'm reading, either in audio books I'm listening to, on Facebook. It's just something that, okay, I get the signs. I'm going to talk about it now. And I told Sonia, I said, this is something that I didn't realize. Clutter can just be, when we think of clutter, we think of stuff. We think of hardcore, a bag of stuff. Like these are a bag of gift cards. Will I ever use some of them? No, because these stores aren't even in Ohio, some of these. And it's just collecting dust. But clutter is something that can affect us and we not even realize it. Clutter can affect our anxiety level. It can affect focus. It can affect our sleep. Sonia, do you want to chime in about this too? It's one of those topics that people don't realize how much it can actually affect you.
It is very true. And we want to welcome our guests to the BU show. If this is your first time watching, thank you for being here. And we would love if you would subscribe to our channel and help us grow, share with your friends. Feel free to comment on our topics as well. And this whole concept of clutter is, we've just come through this pandemic situation where we've stayed at home and it's like our stuff has also been a place of comfort for many of us. While everything has been changing around us, we have what we are most comfortable with. But clutter can also become a real mental and emotional block in our lives. And here on this show, we talk a lot about our self-development and growing as a person, growing into who you were meant to be. And we just want to sit here today and have a great coffee chat, because that's what Jen and I do with each other and with you. And we want to just kind of ponder. So, what does stuff look like? What we can do about it, and things like that. So those are my intro thoughts.
The thing is that I've been reading listening to a book, and you're going to ask me what it is, and I'm like in between 3 books, but so I can't tell you which book I heard it in, but it talked about how the clutter in our lives will affect our relationships with people and everything like that, because when you don't get enough sleep, it can affect you. When you're having interactions with people in business, it can affect you as well. So it's one of those things that you don't realize, that stuff that's just sitting there, that pile of stuff, go through it. If you don't need it, let it go. As Elsa and Anna sing in their Frozen videos, let it go, because you'll feel better. And just keep that stuff that's important to you. There was actually a whole show, I want to say on Netflix or something like that, about getting rid of stuff and minimalizing and everything like that. I'm trying to think of the person's name, Sonia, and I'm drawing a blank on it, but it's about just minimalizing it. And I think that's why we've talked about it too. I know you know a bunch of people who have taken on the minimalist lifestyle and now are living out of RVs and buses and doing these teeny houses. And I think I now understand why people are doing that. Like, they're happier living with less. Less is more.
It does require change, though. And
Yes.
that is, a physical process, and like I said, like a mental and emotional process. I grew up in a family of pilers, and we still joke about this to this day. There's that pile of magazines beside the chair that is kind of the comfort. It's the pile of children's toys in the corner of the room. The ever famous junk drawer in the kitchen, that everything gets thrown into until the point where you can't even jam it shut, And so change, we've talked about many times on some of our episodes, that it's not an easy process and can become very overwhelming quickly. And I know some people, that's where people get stuck, because they start, or they say, I am going to do this, and they start. But as soon as the process becomes difficult or challenging, they get overwhelmed, and then they shut down to that safe emotional spot. But we have to sometimes embrace fear for what it is. And even though it's uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good, to actually say, I'm going to take this box of junk or stuff or unusable things, like, how many women do we know that have clothes in their closets they haven't worn in 10 years?
I think every woman just raised their hand right there with you, Sonia.
Probably.
Or else those pants that were like, yes, we will fit back into these. We don't need to get rid of them.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing. There is a kind of a financial bondage that comes with that stuff, because a lot of people see their stuff as money, because they have spent money on it. And maybe when they're not in a good financial place in life, it is harder for them to declutter. It's harder for them to just give that stuff away, because they say, well, like, I paid $75 for that, pair of pants, and I could sell it for 20. But then it's the process of actually getting to that point and doing it, and we're all guilty of it.
It's one of those things, like you said, a lot of people get hung up on that money, or just even the process of getting rid of stuff.
Yeah. Like, I know when you were getting ready to move, Jen, when you moved from California to Ohio, you and I had many conversations.
I was thinking about this. Okay, so I went from a nice, decent sized house to a studio apartment, which was 800. Was it 800? No, it wasn't even 800. I think it was like 900 square feet, probably 800 square feet. Studio apartment for my daughter and I. Then moving, which we lived for 3 years, and having a 7-year-old daughter who loves shoes and purses and dresses and just a kid and toys, stuff grew.
Yeah.
And then when looking and moving companies were just outrageous, I knew I had to take my car, U-Haul, and all the other places. So I ended up going with a 7x7 cube, threw all my stuff in, and I'm like, Sonia, I got to get rid of more stuff. I was getting rid of kitchen tables, bookshelves, everything, clothes. And it was at that point, like, I'm like, Jen, you haven't used half this stuff since you've moved in. I'm like, you just need to let it go. And some of the stuff, it was hard for me to let go. It really was.
Well, it was a huge emotional challenge, because it represents change. Like, a lot of those things were things that, were comfort, were kind of feeding that emotional connection for you, right?
Exactly. 100%. It was one of those things that it had been through my divorce with me, and everything. And some of it even previous. Some of it was from my childhood that was gifted to me. And I'm like, you know what? Do we really need this stuff? Does it really need to come with me on my new life journey here in Ohio? Because I knew that I wanted to start completely over. I wanted to have fresh stuff. And sometimes fresh is good. And I'm living minimal. A lot of my stuff is still packed away. I have my clothes out and stuff like that, but it feels better that way.
Yeah, I think that there is an enlightenment that comes, a freedom that comes when you make that choice. And I think one of the very first things that we all have to reach the point of when we're ready to begin this journey is to actually state and maybe even write down the fact that I am going to declutter. I am going to lessen the stuff around me. And then begin to write down what that actually looks like. Because I'm a huge, huge, huge promoter of writing things down. Because I think once you write them down, there's a commitment that begins. A commitment of change begins in your brain, in your mind, that helps you prepare for the, possible emotions or whatever will arise as you're going through those things. And then once you do have that list of being prepared, then, if you have a local thrift store, you have a charity that you can support, maybe donating to those places is also just going to help ease the emotional fact of feeling that you're losing, because I think that's the shift that has to take place in our minds. We're not losing this stuff. We're gaining more space physically, mentally, emotionally.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I do suggest when doing this, besides writing it down, is calling in a good friend or even your partner or someone to be with you doing this, because there are going to be things that are that trigger you, and your friend or your family or your partner, husband, wife, are going to be able to help you and talk you through it. Because there was times for me where I had to have my friend in California come and be like, Jen, do you really need that? Or else I'd be talking with Sonia via video chat, and she's like, Jen, do you really need that? We can let that go. We can release that. And that helped get through. And I'm not going to lie, this is like ripping off a Band-Aid, people. It's going to be difficult for a lot of us. It still is. Like, I'm still working on decluttering more stuff. And
me too.
And here in the US, and I don't know so much about Canada, for a lot of people, it was keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle for a lot of people, and always having the best of this or the best of that or more of this or more of that. That's the one thing that I have to say, that this whole process of change in my life and where I'm going and what's going to happen with it, I realized that that's just stuff. Like, my daughter's birthday is coming up, and everyone's like, what do you want us to buy? I said, nothing. That's going to go away. Like, she'll outgrow it. It will break. Let's maybe give her money to go on a trip, and let's go do something that she can
or
make
like a gift card to a local restaurant so you and her can create a memory. Right.
100%.
I mean, people I know, I come from a family too that doesn't really like to give gift cards. But I'll tell you, some of the only times I ever go out for dinner personally is if I have a gift card, because I'm like, I can't waste this money. They've spent money on this. I need to go and enjoy this dinner. And then I usually am, quite thankful and happy that I did. So exactly. It is a scary process. And maybe you're a viewer that's watching today, and maybe you don't have that person or someone that can talk you through it or whatever. Contact us. Both Jen and I have been through it, and even though I know in my own journey and my coaching practice, I mean, this is something I try to help people with, just kind of move step by step, and it doesn't have to be anything, the size of a mountain. It can just be getting you over that speed bump, and it doesn't have to be a huge investment financially for you to make this kind of change. Mm-hmm. But just step by step, when you do it in little bits, you'll start to feel that freedom and feeling that you are you. Like, we are the BU show. We want to help our guests really understand what it's like to be confident in the decisions that you make, and to be able to not compare yourself to other people, even when you are going through these areas of your life that help you develop and grow, such as decluttering. So,
and when you hear the word decluttering, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, where to start? Break your home into little sections. So just start small. Maybe start in your bedroom. Maybe start in your bathroom. Sorry guys, we're getting, both Sonia and I today, we're in Storm Central, so we're getting alerts, so we apologize. But it's good that we're getting those alerts.
Yes, exactly.
But no, start small, people. Start like with bedrooms or bathrooms, and then move into kitchens, or even start in the your car. Even maybe you have to declutter your car. I know for me, having a kid, she brings a bunch of stuff into the car at times, so that's something that we have to do.
Yeah, your desk at work or your desk in the office, right? Sometimes just tidying that up and setting that up makes you feel better.
Yes.
Right? Because we do not realize how much emotional and mental weight, and I will always talk about this, is connected to having clutter around us. So
exactly. And I would love to hear from our viewers, like Sonia said. If you guys start the process of decluttering and stuff, let us know how that makes you feel after. Do you guys notice a shift, maybe in your sleeping habits, maybe in your relationships? Maybe you just feel joyful and just more relaxed. We want to know. So make sure you guys follow up with us. Shoot us an email at thebushow@gmail.com. Also, as you know, how we build is by you guys like, subscribing, and share. So make sure you hit that button below, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Maybe go back and watch a few of our other videos and they'll resonate with you guys, and let us know.
That sounds like a great idea, because, we join together just for casual coffee chats, and we enjoy these times with each other as friends, but also with you as our guests. And we have more guests lined up. If you go back and watch some of our other shows, we bring quite a diversity on this show, because that's we want to just show that people can be unique and individual. And you don't have to be, a coffee lover to join us here on the BU show. Although, we will never turn down this beverage because it's our favorite. And we have a link below there. If you want to support us and buy us a coffee, that'd be lovely. But we will also be creating a coffee club very soon, and are probably going to, have a few special things there too. So thanks for taking the time to join us today. We always enjoy having you here and being able to connect with each other here on the BU show.
Well, Sonia, I had a wonderful time today. I know today's topic might have hit some chords with people. I know after this, I'm actually going to declutter some more stuff because we're going to be getting ready to go on a vacation here. So nice. It's time to get rid of some more stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling motivated after talking with our viewers today.
All right. Well, you stay safe, Jen, as I will as well in these storms. Yes. And we will touch base with you and our viewers later.
Have a good one, guys. Raise your mug of love. We'll talk to you soon.
All
Bye.
Right. Bye.